Good morning everybody and welcome to Shave Up. Today I'm going to go over adjustable razors. What I have is a vintage Gillette Black Beauty. I forget what year it is, but the date code that it has is H4. Let's see if we can get that focused in here. But the date code is right here. And so H is the year and 4 is the quarter. A lot of the vintage razors have a date code. The Gillette's, there's a list online. I'll see about putting a link in the description of where that is if you want to take a look at that if you end up getting a vintage razor or you already have one and don't know where to find the date code. I'll have a link in the description. And I'll also put in the description what year H is for the Black Beauty. And we'll have, I've been to the website before, I just forget what year it is. I think it's 1956 for H, but that'll be in the description. And so what we're going to do today is talk about the adjustable razors. Most adjustable razors are one-piece razors, and I know there's at least one that's a two-piece razor. I just don't remember which one it is, and I don't have any other than this razor. So what's awesome about an adjustable razor is you can adjust the gap between the bar and the edge of the blade. And so it will have a different shave depending on which number you have it at. And the Gillette Black Beauty has 9 settings, 1 through 9. And what I like to do is if I have a decent amount of growth on my face, like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, if I end up skipping shaving that much, then I'll usually shave with either a straight razor or a shavette or the Black Beauty, cranked all the way up to 9. So it has a nice wide gap between the base and the blade so you can get more of the hair into the blade. And that makes it more aggressive. And aggressive is just more blade feel on your face, whereas mild you don't feel it as much. And there's a surprising difference after you have a little bit of experience with it between 9 and 1. And then if you switch over to another razor, like I personally didn't really understand mild and aggressive until I got my second safety razor and started shaving with it and found out it was actually quite a bit more mild than the Gillette on 1 even. It's about the same, maybe a little bit more mild, but it is definitely more mild than the Black Beauty. And I just did a quick measurement before I started the video, and on the setting of 1, which is the smallest, it's about 1/16, and you probably won't be able to see it, of an inch between the top of the bar and the edge of the blade. And then I cranked it all the way up to 9 just to see what the difference was. And it's, looking at it, you may be able to tell the difference, but let's put this back up here. It goes up to 1/8 of an inch of a gap. And so what you can do with the adjustable, and I'll just demonstrate this in just a minute here once I get the shave ready, is you can change the gap for each pass. Like what I'm going to do today is I'll probably start on a 9, and then for the second pass I'll drop it down to like a 5 or a 4 or something like that. And then for my last pass I'll probably go to a 1. And so then you can have those different variations. And it helps because, like if you've gone over it a couple times, then you switch it down to a 1, and then it will be less aggressive and more gentle on your face, especially on areas maybe if you're getting some irritation. I would drop it down a notch or 2, unless you're on 1, then just use lighter pressure. But always use light pressure. So enough talking, I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then I'll be back after I have my lather and ready to go, and we'll be all set and start the shave. Alright, and today I did a bowl lather using the Prairie de Provence shaving soap. So let's just get everything going. It has been a few days since I shaved, so we're going to be able to really demonstrate what it looks like to do just the changing of the gap on the razor. That smells nice. Okay, that's nice and good. And like I said, I'm going to start it off at 9. And whenever you're changing, you want to loosen the razor up just a little bit, so that's all the way tight, just a little bit. And then you adjust it, and you'll tighten it back down. So we're going to go with 9. Get that blade nice and warm, and then put it on the spot, pop it up, and start shaving. You can take a look at that. You can already see some whiskers in there, nice and chopped off. Stretch the skin. Keep the blade on wide flat areas as much as possible. Light pressure. And with a more aggressive gap, you do always want to use light pressure, but with a more aggressive one, I would suggest even lighter pressure. And one thing I've noticed with just in my personal shaves is that if I'm doing more pressure, it actually doesn't always get as close. There we go. And if you have sensitive skin, a more aggressive razor might not be the one for you. Whereas you might want to go with a more mild razor. But if you have a tough beard, I would suggest with a more aggressive razor. Just likes to take the hair off a little bit better sometimes. I'm not saying that mild razors are not as good. It's just each item has its own place, and that's one thing that is so awesome about wet shaving. And I'll be right back. Is that there are so many things, so many different options, that you can really fine-tune it for what works best for you. And that was a weird face that I made a few seconds ago. Alright. Like if you get a soap that just doesn't work, there's hundreds of more soaps out there that might work better for you. Get a brush that just doesn't work. There's other ones out there, there's softer ones, there's more stiffer or scratchier ones. And even me, I prefer a softer brush. Like my Badger brush. My Badger brush is softer than my boar brush. So I'll generally use this, but if I just have like a lot of hair growth, like if I were to go maybe 2 or 3 weeks without shaving, I would probably use the boar brush because I feel it gets it closer, gets the lather closer to the skin because the bristles are stiffer. It's able to get through there. So I've changed it down to 5. And I'm going to go, what I've been doing lately is going from nose to ear, into out. And I think that that's been getting a little bit closer. Oh yeah, can definitely feel a difference between 9 and 5. going across. And then I always go down on the second pass on my neck, maybe at a diagonal. But for me, I can't really go truly sideways, so I'll just do the diagonal. And it's a good across the grain for me on my neck. If you can do straight across on your neck, go for it. Find out what works best for you. Wonder if you can hear this here. There we go. And then each adjustable razor will be more or less aggressive than another one. Alright, so done with the second pass. I'm just going to go ahead and rinse up again real quick. And relather. All right. Let's clear this off. Had a little nick. Seems like I have a zit or something right there. Again, to adjust, we'll loosen it a little bit. And then I'm going to turn it down to 1 today. And for my third pass, I'm going to go against the grain, well, up, which is for me against the grain. Some of you against the grain, like with the grain might be this way, and against the grain that is like that. Just find out what works. Find out. Get to know your face is one thing that you do when you're wet shaving, is you really get to know your face a little better. One thing with the smaller blade gap is you might find that you rinse your razor a little bit more than with a larger one. I'm going to do real quick is just grab my other razor just to have a instant comparison. So yeah, I actually spoke wrong a little bit earlier. This Idle 1 is very, very mild compared to this, but it's kind of hard to compare the two still. And usually when I'm using my Black Beauty is I'll have it on a 3 or 4 usually. And so that may be why when I said that this was generally a little bit milder. But they are pretty close and similar. And let's go ahead and clean up. It's feeling really nice. And I have a trouble spot right here. I can hardly ever get it smooth. I think it's just a combination of the location, the direction the hair grows. It's just a little bit rougher to get it smooth. And since I have a nick, I'm going to pull out the styptic pencil. Love this thing. No need to use toilet paper or like they do in the movies and TV shows and everything. You can also use this as a pre-aftershave. Just rub it all over your face. The same thing with an alum block. I'm gonna get one someday. I think it's a similar material or substance that both of them are made out of. It doesn't say on the packaging what my styptic pencil is made out of. Whereas an alum block, it's made of the mineral alum. And they both have similar properties. I've never used an alum block myself, but from what I've seen and heard, they're very similar. So, I got that done. Let's switch to cold water. Yep, got some alum on my lips. Well, styptic pencil. And I think today I'm going to go with my Old Spice aftershave. I love this stuff. I haven't been using it much because it's like down to here. But it feels nice even when it burns, and it smells good. And it's a classic. Alright, so I think that's it for today. I'm just gonna rinse out my brush, wash off my razor and everything. Look at that. That's all this is still left. Could go for a fourth pass. But we're not gonna do that today. So I think that's about it. So I just wanted to say, again, do what works for you. Have a great day and shave up.